Welcome back. I'm Intrepid Emma, and I create content for entrepreneurs like you who have a message to get out to the world. So you need tips and inspiration on copywriting and content marketing. Let's get into today's topic, which is, what is the difference between copywriting and content marketing? So essentially, copywriting can be described as the type of writing that's directly intended to sell someone something. So this could be anything with a buy now call to action at the end. It's things like sales pages, even social media posts where you're telling them to sign up now or buy now. Anything that has that call to action at the end really counts as copywriting, because the intention is to psychologically prepare the reader to eventually invest in that product by the time they've reached the end of the page. Some other things that count as copywriting are Facebook ads. Obviously, you're telling them to buy something now. And also things like sales emails, right? If you're going to send out one email or a series of emails where the call to action is always buy this new thing, then that is copywriting. Copywriting skills can also be really useful when you're trying to get anyone to invest in you in other ways. So not just with their money, but also with their time or their energy or their email address. So if you have a freebie that you're going to be pitching on social media, anytime you're asking for that email address, you're asking for an investment, you want to use copywriting strategies so that way they actually are willing to give you something from them. You're asking for value from them in some way, so copywriting is definitely useful there. Next is content writing. So why is it different than copywriting? Well, essentially, content writing covers everything that is not copy. So it falls under the umbrella of content marketing. The immediate goal is not to sell anyone anything. The call to action does not have to do with buying anything, investing time, energy, their email address. You're nurturing your ideal clients. So with content marketing, the idea is that you're actually pouring value into them first before you're extracting that value through copywriting. The goal of content marketing really is to attract an audience and create a reliable, loyal community by giving them tons of free value and free education. So things that fall under the umbrella of content writing would be blogs for sure, social media that's just meant to educate and inspire or inform. Even podcast episodes and videos like this count as content marketing, right? Because I'm giving you value and I'm not asking for anything in return, really. Just like show up, watch more videos. So you can also separate copy and content marketing by the goals. So the goal of copywriting is definitely to sell something. The goal of content marketing is prospecting. So it's just growing your audience, warming them up to you so that way they feel like they trust you and they're ready to invest when the timing is right for them, and you throw a piece of copy their way. So you can also think of it like this. You have them in your audience on your email list. So you're sending them your new blog posts, inspiring emails, your newsletter, you're giving them lots and lots of value. And then when it's time for you to launch that latest project or to fill a gap in your coaching schedule, you send out an email saying, hey, I have a spot open, or hey, I'm launching this new thing, copywriting, buy now. And this person who's grown to like you, to trust you, is now super warm. And if they're ready to buy, if they're ready for the solution that they know you deliver, they're going to choose you. So why does the difference between copy and content matter to you if they're just with different goals? Well, it's because to achieve those different goals, that also means there are different techniques to get you there. And it'll save you a lot of time and a lot of energy if you understand copywriting formulas and content marketing principles so that you can achieve those goals. So think of a copywriting formula as an essay. Right? You have an essay structure that you're given when you start learning about it first in high school, where you have the introduction, you have the paragraphs, usually 3 paragraphs, and a conclusion. Within the introduction, you have a thesis statement and a statement of enumeration. Within these paragraphs, you have a topic sentence, the description, and the evidence. Repeat, repeat. Conclusion ties things up, adds the thesis again, and suggests what the larger meaning is in the world, right? This is definitely a formula I know super well as someone who did a ton of writing in high school and university. And chances are you know it, at least the basics too. So the question is, just because it's a formula, does that make it inauthentic? Like, for me, the question of authenticity doesn't even come up with an essay. I just know that the formula is there because it serves a purpose, right? It helps me make my argument, helps it be clear to the reader, helps me define my terms, show it what it is that I mean, and do it in a convincing way for the reader. The formula is there to help me. It's still authentic to me because I'm arguing for something that I believe, ideally, unless your professor has assigned you a specific viewpoint, because that happens. And you have your unique perspective, right? That's going to be embedded in the way that you tie the pieces of evidence together with the point that you're making in your topic sentence. So it's not a question of authenticity at all. You're just using the formula to best convey the argument that you're trying to further. So copywriting formulas are the same, right? They're not manipulation. They're not formulaic in a way that's super sleazy, which I think is the first impression a lot of people have when they think of copywriting, because it's designed to sell, and that makes people uncomfortable. And on that point, let me point out, if you have a product or service that helps people, it's your responsibility to make sure that you match your solution to the people who have the problem, right? It's your responsibility to create really great copywriting that makes it clear that they are your ideal client, addresses their pain points so that they know, hey, I'm not alone in the world, right? So that way they know someone has been there too, and that there is a guide and there is a solution. Their dreams are possible. So copywriting is actually super authentic because you're embedding in it your unique service, your unique perspective, and you're using the formula just like an essay to further essentially the argument, right? You're psychologically preparing them to show them that buy now is the right thing to do. It's going to give them the solution to their problem. So think about it that way, right? Copywriting is matching your ideal client with a problem to a solution that only you can give. You're the best, at least, option for them to find that solution. So you're matching them up. You're not doing anything manipulative. You're making it super clear for them to self-identify as your ideal client and giving them the solution that they need to solve their problem or to make their dreams come true. It's actually an amazing thing to do. So let's leave that tangent on why copywriting formulas are really, really important and they can be authentic. And we'll talk a little bit about content marketing. So content marketing, like I said, is lots and lots of free value. So you're giving people sometimes a behind the scenes look into your business or your lifestyle, especially if you're a lifestyle blogger, and essentially the benefit you give people is entertainment or inspiration. Behind the scenes is useful in all of these different arenas. You're also giving them knowledge, right? So you're an expert in something and you're going to share lots of posts or lots of blog posts or lots of video content, lots of podcasts about the thing you're an expert in with your unique perspective, right? And you can answer their questions. You're just pouring value into your community, and the community will organically grow that way. You'll have lots of engagement. You'll have lots of people who like and trust you. So that's kind of how I break it up. Behind the scenes, or in any sense, a way for them to get to know you and like you. So you could also say, these are my favorite things. Those tend to do well. Vloggers. So if you're a blog person, or a blogger, I guess you would be called, then you might have a vlog once in a while just to give them a little bit of insight into your life so they get to feel like they know you as a person. And you're creating lots of informational, educational posts as well. Those are kind of the two main categories. And then you intersperse your copywriting, right? So let's say you post 5 times on social media, on Instagram a week. So you'll have probably, let's say, 2 expertise posts where you're sharing the thing that you're an expert in, the knowledge that you have, and making it accessible to your audience so they get lots of value. You might do 1 or 2 posts where you're chatting with your community or sharing your opinion or giving a behind the scenes look into your life and your business. And then you might throw in 1 offer during that week. So you'll have 1 post that is highlighting, hey, did you know I have this amazing freebie? It's great for you if you have this pain, this pain, this pain. I can take you from this problem to this solution. So pick up the freebie now. So you're asking them to invest their email address. You can also make an offer on something that's a paid service or product, of course. But think about that ratio, right? So you're mostly giving content and giving value to your community. And then once in a while, you're extracting that value saying, hey, if I've helped you so far and you believe I'm the right person to help you, give you the solution to the problem that you have, then this is the way that you can do it. You can buy this item with me. So that's kind of the balance of copy to content. And that's incredibly important as an entrepreneur. So that way you're building a community, building loyalty and trust, and not asking too early in the relationship for value, right? You're giving that value first. And then people are happy to give value back by paying for the item, sharing their email address, giving you their time, their opinion, their testimonials, etc. The second reason it matters, the difference between copy and content for entrepreneurs, is in case you need to outsource either of these 2 jobs or both of them. So a lot of people are specialists in copywriting, and sometimes they're even specialists in something as specific as high ticket sales pages. This is pretty common. You'll see this a lot of the time And it's because they're amazing at the formulas. They know all the variety of formulas they can use, what works best for different types of businesses, and they do lots of research into your ideal client avatar so they can speak to them and their pains and their desires. And that's fantastic if you just need a sales page, right? So you want to make sure, one, that the copywriter you're looking at hiring understands these formulas, that they get the difference between copy and content. Like if they don't know this basic stuff about the world of writing online and you know it as the entrepreneur, they are not the right person, right? They need to know all of this. They should be able to answer your questions, and you can tell that, okay, this person is experienced and educated in writing. Now, a lot of people also only specialize in content. Why this matters? Sometimes content writers will say, if you ask them, well, can you also write my sales page? They'll say, yeah, like I can write a sales page. They can probably look up the formula. They might have done a little copywriting in the past. That's totally okay. But if they don't really understand copywriting formulas, do not ask them to do copywriting for you. If it's not something that they specialize in, I would also consider just keeping them as a content writer or hiring someone who does both. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But the thing is, if they spend all their days writing blog posts, you don't want to rely on them to try and sell something, especially if it's a high ticket item, right? You want someone who's a specialist in it, who you're paying and you know that you're going to get the results from, the return on investment. So another thing to watch out for with content writers is that some just do the writing. And obviously that's really, really important because that comes first, right? You need to be giving value to your ideal clients. So they'll also do the research, generally speaking. But what I'm saying might be missing is any sort of SEO best practices. Now, content writers don't need to be SEO experts. A lot of the time they can be given a keyword or two key phrases to embed into the article that they're writing, particularly for blog posts. And so the thing is with that they need to be able to do that smoothly in a way that makes a lot of sense still in the context of the writing. It doesn't feel like it's stuffed with keywords, but also they need to know how to use those key phrases, right? Like, do they know that they need it in a header or multiple subheadings? Do they understand how to put it in the meta description if they're in charge of that? Do they know how to basically use SEO best practices, right? So some content writers don't, and that's okay. But as an entrepreneur, you have limited resources a lot of the time and limited time. So you might as well hire a content writer who is super experienced with both the writing and SEO best practices. Now there is a third option for outsourcing, and it's someone like me. So I do copywriting and content writing, and the reason for that is because I specialize in a couple unique clients when I do ghostwriting. Obviously I have coaching services and that sort of thing on the side as well. But when I'm doing done for you writing or ghostwriting in their voice, I have a much better relationship with these people because I'm able to understand their brand voice. I'm able to create a consistent brand voice for them. And I know their products inside and out, their services as well. I know their team, so that way I know exactly what they're looking for, what they need. I know all their procedures, etc. There's a lot of benefits to working with someone who's just your dedicated writer for the business. So what's so great about that is that I can specialize in just a few clients that I do this sort of ghostwriting for, and that means they don't need to go looking for both a copywriter and a content writer. They don't need to constantly go finding someone new who's a specialist in this or that thing. They have a partner who is dedicated to their business who can do all of it for them. So we're not super common, I would say. It's something that I really enjoy. I like the diversity of the writing and the depth and intensity of the relationships. A lot of content, especially copywriters, don't, right? They just love to do the thing that they're great at, and they are really, really, really good at it. But the thing is, they don't have that long-standing relationship and they're not flexible. So especially for entrepreneurs, it's better to have one partner who knows how to do all the types of writing for your business, so that way you can get them to write your sales page and a month's worth of social media content and the newsletters that are coming out next week. You'll have a really cohesive brand voice, and they're going to be super authentic to you as well because they know you so well, and they know your clients and they know the value that you bring to your clients. Okay, that's it for today's video on the difference between copy and content and why that difference matters for you as an entrepreneur. So thank you so much for joining me. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for even more content about copy, content, and entrepreneurship. I'll be so happy to see you again soon. Bye!